Hello, fellow game developers. Are you looking to add an engaging score system to your Unreal Engine project? Look no further than the Smart Score System plugin. This powerful tool will streamline the process of implementing a score system in your game, saving you valuable time and effort. In this comprehensive video tutorial, we'll guide you through the entire process of setting up the Smart Score System plugin. From creating the user interface to implementing the scoring logic, we'll cover every step in detail. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced developer, this tutorial is designed to ensure your success. Okay, let's get started. First, when creating a project, we need to choose the game's category and then select the first-person template. Make sure your settings are as shown, and then create the project. After opening your project, you will see a screen like this. We need to create a UI layer for your score system first. In your content browser, right-click in the empty space, then find the user interface, and choose Widget Blueprint. Name it BP_score main. Double-click to open it. In the library, search for Canvas panel, drag it to the viewport, and you will see it in the hierarchy window. Then search for a horizontal box and drag it under the Canvas panel we created. Look for the alignment option in the Details panel and set it as Mine. We need to position it a little bit lower as shown on the screen. Also, search for a text block element and drag it into the horizontal box. Now, let's work on the text layout. In the Detail panel of Text Block, we can find the horizontal alignment and set it to the center. We also need to set it to fill mode so it will occupy the full box. Set the text to score 0. Now that we've finished, let's compile and save. Afterward, we can create the score system and implement it into our player. First, we need to find our player blueprint. It is in Content, First Person, Blueprints, First Person Character. Double-click to open it. In the Viewport, Components panel, type Score, search for the Score component, and add it here. You can type SSS keywords which stand for Smart Score System plugin and it will show all of the related elements here also. After creating the component, look at the Details panel. You can set the initial score and choose the minimum and maximum score. You have now implemented the score component for this player character. Please note that everything related to the score is implemented here. Choose Compile and Save. Now, let's create an object that will increase our score when we shoot it. In the Content browser, right-click to create a new Blueprint class. Name it A_cube. Drag the static mesh component into the default scene root. In the static mesh field, change it by searching for SM_charm for cube. But we're not finished yet, we need to ensure the static mesh component is our root component. Drag it and replace the default scene root. The hierarchy will now look like this. Next, we can add a text label to indicate how many scores we will add or deduct from the player. So, we can add a text render component and set its properties accordingly. Set the location to 51 units, and rotate it to the correct orientation. Ensure the text alignment is centered. Change the text to +1 also. Press Ctrl and D to duplicate the text label component and repeat the step until we have 4 score labels. Now, compile and save. Let's move on to the logic part. In the event graph, we add the score to the player component when the bullet projectile hits the cube. We can achieve this by adding the onComponent hit event. Click Static Mesh component and scroll down in the Details panel. Here, we need to create a variable to determine if this cube was hit before or not. Add a variable here and name it as hit. Click Compile and save. Then drag out the as hit variable and choose Set and place it here for later use. Next, we need to determine if the hit was caused by the bullet first-person projectile we want, so we need to cast it. Drag out from the other actor and connect it to the cast to BP_first-person projectile node. Remember to check the as hit node now. Also, remember to add a branch node for the as hit Boolean node. This way, the logic can only pass through once and prevent a second trigger. Then drag out the as hit variable and choose Get. Then, add the sequence node for processing the add score logic and destroy this cube logic. Find a get player character and cast it to the first person character, and search for the get score component again. Then, add one score by using the add score node. In here, the delta property means if we input a positive number, the score will be added. Conversely, if we input a negative number, the score will be deducted. Finally, we can destroy the cube after 1 second by adding a delay node and destroy actor node. We can test our current progress. Go back to the map, find our cube, and place it into the level to see if we can destroy the cube or not. Click play to see the result. We can observe that after we shoot it, the cube is destroyed. Thus, the logic has been successfully implemented. However, the UI isn't showing up yet. Press Escape. In our first-person character, go to the event graph, and type Begin Play. Add the Create Widget node to create a UI for the world. In the class field, we can choose the WBP_score main, the widget class we created earlier. Then, you need to add it to the viewport, otherwise, it won't show up in the viewport, it will just spawn and do nothing. This step is to create your UI. Press Compile and save. In your map, if you press the play button again, you will see that your UI now appears. But at this point, it's just displayed there and is not actually connected. Press Escape. Next, we need to connect the UI and the score system. In our WBP_score main widget, click the Graph button. Right-click the empty space and search for the SSS keyword and look for Get SSS Manager. Afterwards, find and assign on any score changed event and connect it with the construct node. This will be triggered when any score component's score changes. But we need to ensure the score changed in our first-person character, so we need to cast to first-person character. Then we can change the text. Go back to the designer view, and check the As Variable checkbox in the text blocks detail panel and return to the graph view. Drag out and get the text block variable. We can use the setText method to set our text. And using the append string node to append two strings into one text. Type score in the first part. Then drag out the score float number and convert to an integer by rounding to an integer. Then connect it like this. So now we update the UI accordingly. Press compile and save. Now we can see the result. If we play it, we can see that the score number changes, which means the UI is already connected to the score system. And that's the basic setup we need for the score component system. That's all for today, folks. Remember, the link to the product is conveniently located in the description below. For those of you interested in a hands-on experience, there's a demo exe available for download. But that's not all, I've also uploaded the source Unreal Engine project for the demo. This means you can access the full source code and learn how this plugin works at your own pace. So why wait? Get started today and unlock your potential. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy coding!